Governor Greg Abbott joins us now live to talk about that coming debate. Governor, thanks for being here with us. And we'll start off first that the House is serving up a somewhat of a blended plan between their plan and the Senate's plan on school choice. Includes cost caps, makes kids with disabilities and lower incomes a priority. Are you happy with how things are playing out right now?
So I am, Rudy, as you know, this is the first time in Texas history where the Texas House Committee on Public Education voted out a school choice plan. It's going to hit the House floor next week, and it's going to pass the Texas House of Representatives for the first time in Texas history. And there's a reason why, and that's because Texans across the state, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, or Asian, whether you're urban, suburban, or rural Texan, everybody in Texas says they want school choice. But know this, Rudy, and that is we can have school choice while at the same time fully funding education, giving our public school teachers an all-time record high in pay raises to make sure we're going to have the best public schools, we're going to have school choice options, and finally, we will be putting Texas on the pathway to be ranked #1 in the United States for educating our kids.
Let's talk about that education funding bill, HB 2. You have noted in several recent social media posting that the increase, and you just said it, historic pushing funding well over $15,000 per student, but critics claim that amount incorporates a lot of other funding sources, maintenance, salaries, things like that. You know, the basic allotment in this for students, the state is closer to, $1,600 per student. So why not just end this dispute and just add a lot more money to HB 2?
Well, so we are adding more money to HB 2. Let's be clear, Rudy, because what you said kind of got convoluted. The fact of the matter is we're providing a record amount of funding per student. The basic allotment that you're talking about, all that does is confuse the public. So the public can understand that the basic allotment is a small percentage of the overall funding that goes to funding education. The total amount that goes to schools is more like about $15,000 or $16,000. One reason why we don't put too much money in the basic allotment is because administrators use that to grow administration. If you look at what's happened over the past decade, most of the expansion and spending in education has gone to administration. We need to cut administration. We need to fund what matters the most in education, and that is teachers. And we are going to fund the strategies that will increase pay to teachers so that we can attract the best educators in the country and then provide a great curriculum and provide choice. And those three things combined will put Texas on the pathway to ranking #1 in educating our kids.
Governor, as it reads right now, this ESA program, school choice, if approved, will have to be reauthorized in the next session if I read it right. It reminds me of the Be On Time college loan program that has been limited in the past by budget restraints. Are you worried that a possible recession could make school choice a one-and-done idea?
So, Rudy, you got it wrong there a little bit. It's not going to be, quote, reauthorized. It is subject to having to be funded every session. That's the way the Texas budget works. Every item that we have in the entire budget has to be funded every session. We're prohibited to funding things into the future unless that is done by constitutional amendment. But what we expect to happen is we're going to provide the funding this session for about 100,000 students. And when that happens, two things will arise after that. One, there's going to be parents of 100,000 students who will enjoy this, and they will demand that be done. The other thing that's going to happen is that all these naysayers, all these critics, they're going to realize that all of the false narratives they try to create about school choice turned out not to be true, and that the devil behind the curtain about school choice simply does not exist, that school choice actually helps public schools do better, and as a result, everybody in the state is going to be in favor of continuing our strong support for public schools as well as supporting school choice.
Governor, in the last session, teacher pay and school funding were held up in order to force a vote on school choice. As we all know, that strategy just didn't work. Would you rather see the order flip-flop this time in the coming House debate and have lawmakers vote first on teacher pay, funding, then school choice in order to avoid some type of meltdown again?
So, Rudy, again, you're getting it wrong. The fact of the matter is the votes are there where we don't choose one or the other. If you go back to my State of the State address, I made two things that priorities as it concerned education. One was school choice. The other was teacher pay raises. As governor, I expect to achieve every emergency out of my list in my State of the State address. As a result, I know that there are enough votes in both the Texas Senate and Texas House to get to my desk an all-time record amount of pay for our teachers that we want to provide the best teacher pay raise to, at the same time ensuring we're going to pass school choice. We're going to have the best public schools, highly funded public schools, the best paid teachers, and the ability for parents to choose the education pathway that is best for their child.
All right, I got 3 wrongs. Hopefully that makes a right with the governor, at least with me in the future. Thanks, Governor, for talking to us about school choice.
You got it.